Oh, the fuel pump came on. Oh, this is gonna be so loud. Yes! Yes! Oh, that's exciting. So I made another typical garage idiot mistake. So we went to the junkyard, got this metal intake manifold. You saw me just clean it up, and I assumed all the intake manifold flanges to the head were the same. Turns out they're not, so wasted all that time. But I did get that one cleaned up, so I'm putting that back on, and then for now, just to get it running and driving, we're gonna throw the plastic intake manifold back on. Goodness gracious, this fuel rail's different too. Okay, so I'm gonna try and get the wiring all laid out. We know the motor's gonna start, basically. We know it's a good motor. So instead of just throwing the wiring harness on there like I normally would, just to show you guys something, I gotta bring the Miata to where I'm standing right now. So Miata's gotta come right here. And then that way I can take the bug body off and leave the bug body where the Miata is and then pull the bug back. It's just gonna be a lot easier to lay all the wiring out without the body on. So that's what I'm gonna do real quick, and then we'll see how much work. That's the harness, and then the motor harness is on there right now. So that's the plan. We'll see how much of this we gotta rearrange. But the end goal is to start it just so we have some excitement, but I'd like to kind of lay everything out and kind of see what we need to extend and kind of get some final ideas about how everything's gonna line out. Okay, so basically, for those of you who are either intimidated by that or were scared with what I was doing, that is all of the airbag wiring that I could trace. I traced each wire individually to each plug, from the fuse box to the terminals to blah, 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 blah. Pulled each one individually so I didn't screw anything up. The end goal is to get rid of everything that is not engine related, basically. Unfortunately, I don't know what I'm doing. So the only reason I did that is because I could find the yellow plugs and follow wires. The rest of this, like, I think these blue, and I'm pulling this out of my butt, so this is just my theory. I think these blue ones have something to do with airbags as well. I don't think they're needed. There's a ton in here that is, like, I don't even know. I think this is ABS. There's just a ton in here that is not needed. This got rid of all the radio wiring. So I'm gonna basically stop here. I'm gonna try and kind of tidy it up and just electrical tape some of the looms so it doesn't look like such a mess. It's a little bit easier to move around. And then I'm gonna start kind of laying everything out. The end goal, at least what's in my head now, so on a normal MR2 with a case swap, you would run this loom right here into the trunk basically, and then that would wrap back around, and that's how the stock MR2 harnesses ran. On here, I don't have that, so my goal is to basically just kind of put it in the spaces behind the seats, somewhat in a nice fashion, like put the fuse boxes here and then just have all the wiring going to there basically. So it'll all be right here. The end goal is to get it simplified and easy to work on. So, but I'm gonna stop there before I screw something up. I'm very confident that what I took out over there is all airbag and radio. So I'm gonna try to tidy this up real quick, and then we'll see if we can get this thing to start. I think we're missing some grounds again. Please hold. Oh, the fuel pump came on. Oh, this is gonna be so loud. Yes. Okay. We have no. There's no. Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't know why that's so exciting because it started in the other car. If you get. Oh, it smells good. That's old gas too. So I added a bunch of grounds, plugged a couple more things in, and I had the chassis ground, or the motor ground. I had it going from the chassis to the chassis, which did nothing. And so I shoved it in a little spot on the motor, and that happened. Yes. Oh, that's exciting. Okay, so that's awesome. Super cool. the wiring, despite my efforts, now that everything is plugged in, it's still a giant rat's nest. But, however, we now have a lot of plugs that are not plugged in, and it still started. So that, I mean, that's a good sign. So that means there's a lot here right now that I can get rid of, and the motor will still start. So that means I wired the fuel pump correctly, which is awesome. I didn't know these could run so decently without O2 sensors or an exhaust at all. Awesome. I don't know what to do now. I'm too excited. I have decided what I'm going to do with the rest of this video because I am too excited not to. So you guys remember this. Well, I didn't weld any of it. It's still all tacked. So what I'm going to do is take that off, put it back on the car, put the turbo back on. This did move a little bit when I unbolted it. So I'm going to bolt it all back up, weld a couple more sections to make it sturdier, and then take it off, fully weld it, bolt the turbo on. Probably not with a gasket, but we'll bolt it on, and I want to see what it sounds like with the turbo. As far as wiring goes, I'm leaving town in 2 days, and that's not going to happen in 2 days. So to keep the excitement rolling, I'm going to do that, and then that's a good stopper for here before I leave. And then before I leave, we are putting this big turbo on that Civic just to see if it'll spool. Don't be upset. Just that's El Gigantor. We're gonna put that on the 1.5 liter, and then I gotta do some fender stuff on the Jeep before I leave. So I'm gonna try and get some videos done before I go out of town so I can post them while I'm out of town so we don't lose momentum. For now, I'm putting that back on. We're gonna see how it sounds. Yes! Well, I ran out of welding gas again, and it's 11:30 at night. So there's no coolant or anything at all. So probably got a solid like 6 to 10 seconds to let this thing run, and then I'm gonna kill it. But we'll see what it sounds like. It's still gonna be stupid loud. Headphone users, this is your warning. Oh, ECU is it plugged in, and hooked this while I was welding in case it arced or something. I thought that was a good precaution to make. Okay. Well, my battery's almost dead, so I don't know if this is gonna happen. There's fuel pump. is that fuel? Sweet. I found the dripping. It's from the transmission because there's no axle. So it is just peeing itself away. So it also could be in gear. I'm not really sure. It was pretty decent. When this was on the J32 in Mina Civic at idle, this thing was blowing air like you would not believe. And it, for there being no gasket and probably a couple little leaks here and there on that, it was pushing a good amount of air and it was not struggling to spin at all. So I think that's going to be a really good turbo for this setup. That's what you get for this video. So let me know what you think. Fired up, so that's huge. I really, if I'm being honest, I don't want any tips on the wiring because anything you guys say is probably going to confuse me. And I'm just not ready for that yet. So no, no advice on the wiring unless you feel my simple mind can manage it. I don't know, guys. Like, not that, I mean, let me know what you think. Obviously, I don't know really what you're going to tell me on this one because it's just, I didn't really do a whole lot, but we got it to start and that's super exciting. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry, things have just kind of been a little slow as far as like exciting progress, but this is definitely huge. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think and we'll see you soon.